Boom. Welcome everyone, and 100K. Lightning bolt, confetti. Yeah, when I was planning the month, I thought to myself, yeah, by the end of the month, I should be at 100K. We'll do some promos. I've got something pretty exciting that I want to share about. Then came Friday and it accelerated. I could see it just going boom, 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 boom. Like I said to Maddie, who manages all our community stuff, we're gonna hit 100K this weekend. Well, Friday night, we hit 100K. So I wanna thank everyone. I'm gonna do a little bit of an Academy Award moment. I'm gonna do a little bit of thanking. I'm gonna try to keep this sweet, so hopefully the orchestra won't play by the time that I haven't finished. You see me, but it's a team that's behind me that is helping in creating all the stuff that we do. It's a team that's behind me that that supports the ideas that sometimes bust through my brain, and sometimes I have a hard time trying to express it, so I do things like, I need it to be more za, fa, and my two editors, Grace and Hannah, both go, oh yeah, I get what you want. You want a bit more. We'll add this music, or we'll change this transition, or we'll create something else to come through. So I want to thank my two awesome editors, Grace, Hannah. Thank you so much for all the support and the understanding of this crazy brain and the way that I sort of share things. I want to thank my daughter, Madison. She is responsible for Instagram, so all the things that are happening there. Then the community, she's been putting a lot of great work in that area. Maddie, she's my daughter, so you know, she has a lot of patience for me, because sometimes she'll come up with an idea and I'll say, no, I don't think that's gonna work, or blah, blah, blah. And then maybe 2 or 3 weeks later, I'm like, you know what? I've just had an idea. We should do this. And she normally says to me, is that right, Timon? Because yeah, you watch the Timon and Pumbaa interchange and you'll understand. And then my beautiful wife, because without her support and without her encouragement and all the things, I mean, you have no idea how much work she does behind the scenes. You've probably seen some of her camera work and things of that nature, but she's awesome as a sounding block. Sometimes, I mean, my ideas are just like buzzing constantly, and I'm grateful that Sandra can quickly and has the courage to say, no, I don't think that's a good idea, and these are the reasons why. Sometimes she'll just say, and she'll call it, she'll go, not a good idea. And I'm like, why? And she's like, it's just not a good idea. And I'm like, what do you know? And I pursue it, and then I'm like, this wasn't a good idea. So anyway, so Sandra's awesome. And then there are a variety of consiglieres involved in the channel. Fred from the US, I've got some others through Europe, and then locally my brother Diego, who is just, these people are awesome because they tell me things. I mean, I guess me as an individual, I can only see so far, or through my experience, I can see so much, whereas these other people who are willing to say, I'm not sure about this, or you should do more of that. Diego's great being blood. You know, he cuts to the chase really quickly and tells me off on certain things that I'm doing. So I'm grateful for the support that I get from everyone. Then there's everybody here involved, because if you guys weren't here, I would just be talking to a camera, and there'd be nothing more. So I love all the comments that come through. I love all the feedback that I get. I love the support, the energy, the positive energy that's there. I'm grateful for this. You have no idea. There are some comments that come through from people who, honestly, you guys make my day. You know, they're so, it's like an air, like a wind that brings you up, that lifts you up, and that's what you guys do for me, and I appreciate that. Then there is my homie, my bro, Kevin. I appreciate everything that he's done to help get to this stage. Kevin's been, again, he's also another consigliere of the channel. He's been giving me some awesome advice, even from the very beginning. We had a meeting yesterday. I reminded him of the day. For those who've heard the story, but you'll remember this, but for those who may not have, very early on, when I went to the Oillataguerre store, I pitched the concept, let's do some filming together, blah, blah. And he could see, you know, the first video came out, and he's like, well, this is really cool. It probably had about 100, 200 subscribers at that stage. And he said to me, he's like, what are you hoping to do? I'm like, I'm hoping to get to 1,000. I'm just busting to get to 1,000. He's like, bro, you're gonna get to 3,000. And I remember at the time, I'm like, shut up, man. Shut up. You're gonna jinx me. Don't say those words. 3.5 years later, we're at this 100K mark, which is a significant. I mean, I have been pinching myself because I'm like, anyway, it's been awesome. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, everyone. I really appreciate all your support. All right, very quick announcements because I got a lot of fragrances here. We're talking about the honeymoon, baby. All right, so I'll come to it. So today we're going to, so if you go to the end of this video, I will be announcing the winners of both the Hermetica and also the Ormond Jane. So those who've entered the comp, congratulations. Well, thank you for doing that, and congratulations to those who are about to win. Jump to the end of that. Now, I really thought that this was going to carry over till nearly the end of the month before I released the grand prize. What the grand prize is the beautiful people from NUIT NOMADE are giving away a full bottle, a 100ml bottle of anything your choice. So you choose. So the winner is going to choose their NUIT NOMADE fragrance. It'll be sent anywhere around the world. Okay, so it's an awesome prize. I think it's valued, I think they're 160, 170 euros off the top of my head. Actually, I'll put it right here. Now, if you're not familiar with NUIT NOMADE, then what I'd recommend you do, these are two productions that I created. They are part of the Discovery series. So this is a concept that I am not sure what happened there. Camera stopped. All right, so what I was saying is that the Discovery series is a concept that I am enjoying creating. There's more coming through, and I'll talk about that in another MATÉ talk. This is the NUIT NOMADE Discovery series. So what you can do is, if you're not familiar with this brand at all, you can jump on their website, use the link. There's a link that'll be below, which will give you free delivery anywhere in the world. Use the code NFC10 and you'll get a 10% off this Discovery series. You can then follow me in real time as we smell together. So that's the whole idea of these particular series, is that we'll smell the fragrances together, and I'll navigate through how the nuances that are in this particular set of fragrances that have 10 perfumes in it. Boom. Now, all you got to do to win this. So in 4 weeks' time, I'm going to be in Paris, and I will be with one of the owners of the business, or the founder. His name is Philippe, and he's going to spin the wheel. Boom. It's going to be a bit of a novelty. So he'll spin the wheel of all those people who have entered the comp, and we'll find out who gets to win any fragrance that you choose from their entire collection. All you have to do is name one of the fragrances that you would like to win. It doesn't have to be the one, so just you can change your mind, but put a fragrance that you would like to win, and then put this rocket, because we're flying now to 1 million. By the way, that's the new goal. 1 million is now, I'm like, I gotta get to 1 million, surely I can do that. So yeah, put this rocket, put the fragrance that you would like. You can check out these two videos and you'll be able to see what kind of fragrances that they have in the collection. And then in 4 weeks' time, when I'm in Paris, Philippe will spin the wheel and we'll find out who the winner is for that particular promo. So good luck, everyone, with that. Boom, boom, boom. Moving on. All right, let me just have a little drink, a little baby drink. Now, I mentioned that that I'll be in Paris. Years ago, I had an opportunity to go to Paris with my family, with my kids. Actually, this is Nelson today. This is what he looks like. This is my son. And this is what Nelson looked like when we went to Paris. And we went to the Palace of Versailles, and we did a bit of a tour around through there. And we very sneakily, okay, when I say tour, we were just walking around. There was this gentleman who was an Italian man who was doing a tour with other people. And both Nelson and I were being very sneaky, and we were walking around with them and listening to what this gentleman was saying. So until finally he sort of looked, made eye contact, and he's like, get out of here. Move along, brother. Anyway, so we did hear some of the commentary that this tour guide was doing for the people that were on this particular tour, that we were on too, by the way. And we came to this particular bed. And I rang Nelson because I remember it in a particular way, and I rang Nelson to make sure that I wasn't making things up, that my memory was serving me correctly, and he pretty much verbatim said the same thing to me. That he came to this bed, the Italian tour guide, and he asked everybody, do you know what this bed was for? And the people in the tour were saying, well, for sleeping, beep, bop, boop. And he said, well, in fact, this was Marie Antoinette's bed. And do you know what happened in this bed? And people are like, well, sleeping. And he's like, no. He goes, this a bed? And I'm gonna do it with his accent, all right? So this is not being disrespectful, it's just because in our family, we still do it like this. This a bed is for the making of the love. So this was like a special bed, this bed here. And I think this was the photo. This bed here was for when they wanted to consummate marriage or get some more babies happening. This is the bed that all that would occur. So today is all about fragrances to not necessarily consummate a marriage, but definitely fragrances to be amorous in. And fragrances, so these are 8 fragrances. I'm gonna do 4 for a woman to wear and 4 for a man to wear. Now these are under recommendation. So yeah, the ones that a woman should wear are ones that I love smelling. I'm not gonna go to, because I don't want this to get weird, all right? So the bottom line is that, yeah, I'm not gonna say way too much, but I'll let you guys fill in the gaps. But this essentially, these are gorgeous, gorgeous fragrances that you can wear anytime. For me, these are sensual fragrances. And I'll go one more. These are fragrances that are perfect for amorous situations. Boom. That's as much as I'm gonna say. Now, let me have a look. All right, so, why am I doing this? Because, well, yeah, I'm married now. So I've married my 100K. It's obvious that I'm now going on a honeymoon. And it's obvious the things that happen on a honeymoon. And so this is all about amorous fragrances that one could wear to go on a date with or to be with someone special with. All right, let me have a little drink and then we'll proceed. Now I know that fragrances are unisex. However, today I'm saying these are really beautiful on a woman to wear. And then I'm gonna say these are really awesome for a man to wear, all right? So, but having said that though, know that you can cross over. So there are some fragrances, maybe, yeah, there could be some crossovers. All right, here we go. First one that I would recommend as a woman to wear is this gorgeous thing here. It's called Touche Finale. It's by JOVOY. It is, all right, so where I'm gonna start is not, sometimes you think sort of amorous fragrance need to have some level of animalics or some sort of sass to, like, ooh. Not necessarily. I mean, yes, those elements are definitely, I mean, this is why musks were used originally. They were there as a olfactory lure because that's how nature uses it. The deer musk emanates, it's that sort of musk scent. It attracts then other mates and all the rest of it. And so humans thought, hey, if we put that into perfumes, then boom, it's gonna do the same thing for us, you see. Which is partly true. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start with fragrances that I think are just divine, emanating from a woman's skin, and is just beautiful to smell. As I mentioned, Touche Finale is one that is classic as a wedding fragrance. This has been described as a really good wedding fragrance because it has this sophisticated classiness, and it does have, so it has things like iris, it has that mimosa note, and this fruity, floral powderiness. It's very sensual. It's very, it is very classy. It's very sophisticated on a female, or with the way that this emanates from a female skin. I put here, okay, floral, okay. So what I love about this is that because of all the florals in it, it's definitely a very feminine leaning fragrance. The interesting thing though is that sometimes so many florals and too many sort of fruity notes can make it a bit on the girly side. It's sort of very, not innocent, but very sort of light and playful and all that. So it does have those elements to it. It does have this fruity playfulness, this floral attraction to it, this femininity about the fragrance. However, there is a musk and a sandalwood in the base, and that gives it, and I think it's the musk that gives it this edge now. That gives us this this sophisticated elegance to it. So it doesn't get overtly, it doesn't stay fruity and sort of, you know, fun and sunshine and playful. There is a little bit of like a, you know, the sexy eyes, you know, you get something like, you know, there's more behind that smile sort of thing. Like I said, I don't want to get too weird, but you know where it's going. There's another thing too here, which is heliotrope. And again, another floral, which does create that powdery component to it. As a whole composition, glorious. To smell this in the air, it's just divine. It's really, I mean, this is a beautiful fragrance to go out in. As I said, it is deemed as a beautiful wedding fragrance, so a great fragrance to go out, to go on a date, but then an awesome fragrance to come back and be with somebody that you love. Okay. Let me move on. Boom, boom, boom. All right. I'm gonna keep going. All right, so the next one is FUEGUIA, and this is La CAUTIVA. Now, interestingly, the La CAUTIVA is a poem, and the poem is The Captured Woman. The poem is a little bit, it's a bit heavy because it's about a pioneer woman getting captured by Indians and you know, so it's a bit intense. However, Julian Badel, who is the perfumer, wanted to reinterpret this. La Cautiva can also mean a captivating woman. So this woman wearing this fragrance is so alluring, so captivating. Her essence, her olfactory, the scent cloud that she's generating is just, you know, it's captivating and you're drawn to her. Can I just say, this is gorgeous. This is an incredible fragrance. I love it when Sandra wears La Cautiva. I wore it here, and actually when I sprayed it, I'm like, your imagination just starts to run wild. The 3 core notes that are in this fragrance that are listed on the FUEGUIA website is vanilla, musk, and blackcurrant. And it says that the blackcurrant is in the base, but for me, that fruity blackcurrant emerges very quickly. It literally captivates you instantly. You know, you're getting this fruity, but it's not. Sometimes I find that blackcurrant has a bit of like a pea smell, like a cat pea smell. I know it's weird, but that's what I detect. You know, so it has a very sort of unusual smell. Not here. Here it's fruity, it's sublime, it's very subtle, slight tinges of florals in there. I know that with the FUEGUIA constructs, they do more. So they list 3 fragrances, 3 dominant notes, but there's also a myriad of other notes that are in there. And I did write, there was something else that I was detecting. Okay, so the musk in here, for me, is ambrette-like, and it does have floral elements. And I was trying to detect what floral am I grabbing from this, but I can't. I'm not picking that up. What I do get is a very, as I said, the 3 core notes, vanilla, musk, and the blackcurrant, really just envelope this fragrance so beautifully. It is one round composition. There's nothing that really sort of dominates or steps forward to say, so even if you detect that fruity blackcurrant, it's quickly supported by this very ambrette-like musk. If you're detecting the sweetness of the vanilla, that vanilla touch, it's then supported by that fruity blackcurrant. So all 3 of these notes really dance around together. I wrote here that it's a fruity gourmand. However, it has an animal nature to it, and it does have a little bit of that animalic sass. It does have, so it is playful, but it's very sexy. It's a very, very alluring, just gorgeous fragrance. This fragrance, and I don't know whether this is real or whether this is just something that may have occurred, but for me, this is sunshine. This is sunshine coming through window. This is a breeze coming through. When I was a kid, there was a song that used to play often. Not realizing now as an adult, I realize this song is like, what? So inappropriate. It's Afternoon Delight. So I remember as a kid, my mother singing, you know, this song, and it was a breezy song, you know, like sky rockets in flight, afternoon delight. And my mother would be like, afternoon delight, not realizing what we were singing, you know, what this song was actually about. Well, for me, La CAUTIVA is an afternoon delight. There is a breezy sunshine. There's, you know, the curtains are moving. There's a breeze coming through. There's a lightness in the air. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous fragrance. 1, 2, enjoy. All right, moving on. I'm gonna have a small drink. I'm glad that so far I haven't broken out into a hot sweat, into a cold sweat. Hopefully we stay that way. All right, next one. So those two they're very floral leaning or leading, but there are musks involved in there, and it has a slight musk touch to it. Not overtly animalic, but you know, there's a slight touch. All right, next one. This is dirty, 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 but so divine. This is just, this is a sex bomb. Sorry to say that. I know it sounds crass, but it's not meant to be crass, but it is. This is, okay, so I've always talked about how jasmine, so it's called Jasmine Angelique. It's by the company's called Atelier Cologne. I bought this years ago for Sandra, and I love it when she wears this. This is just so, like, this is a beautiful, again, another one, so where Touche Finale is a sophisticated, classy, but playful, there's a playfulness to it. This is boss lady, this is confident, and this is a very assured woman. This is a person in charge, but it sounds like a dominatrix. I'm not saying that. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying that there's a confidence in this particular fragrance here. It's just a really just, you know, it states your presence, you know. So the one thing that I've spoken about this before, jasmine is this beautiful white floral. However, it has this animalic component to it. And when you smell jasmine in nature, it's more than just this white, airy white floral component. It's more than just an airy white floral. There is this animalic, there's this indolic, and I've talked about indolic last time. There is an indolic nature. And as humans, and this is the weird things of us as humans, we are attracted to sassy smells. You know, we're repulsed by them, like, that stinks. But at the same time, it's like we come back for a little bit more. It's like, oh, hang on a second, let me just see how badly that stinks, you know? And so when you get this really overtly animalic white floral, where you get that breezy jasmine, that very enticing, very alluring scent, but then it comes through with this sassy dirtiness about it. I'm telling you, as humans, we're like, give me more of this. This is really, it's just sexy. That's what it is. So what happens here is that it also has, in this particular fragrance, it has Angelica, and it also has galbanum. So it has this green sort of sharpness, but also blended in with this animalic jasmine indolic component. Does have incense also, and there's another note in there. Boom, I'll put it here, but I can't remember what it is. All of these things combined, I'm sorry to tell you, this has been discontinued. I actually went on to find out if I could find it somewhere. It is available on some discounted sites, I think, or some, you know, like, yeah, some online things. Unfortunately, I mean, I always say you should test before you buy. But this is like, this is, I love it. This is just, as a, take it on a honeymoon and, you know, just, it's just gorgeous. It's just, you swoon, you know. A man smelling that, it's just gorgeous. Anyway, Sandra said to me as we were creating this lineup, she's like, she goes, I already know which one you want to put forward. Don't do it. You've already talked about it more than enough. And I'm like, yeah, okay, no worries. I've also learned there are some things that I don't, oh, now I'm giving myself away. Sandra's gonna watch this. She's like, oh, is that your game plan? Sometimes I just sort of stay quiet. I'm like, cool. Anyway, as I was getting myself ready, it was on the counter, and she says to me, I thought I said, don't put this one up. How can I not put this one up? I mean, how can I not bring forward? She's like, you've already spoken about this a million times, but if something is just incredible, something is just the pinnacle of the top of the actual mountain, how can I not bring this forward? So I know I have spoken about NARCOTIC V. I know that I've spoken about its divine power and its incredible scent. If you may have missed all that conversation, then you need to, gentlemen, buy this for your wife, your girlfriend. This is the most gorgeous fragrance. On just the way it emanates. And I know that some men like to wear this. This is not something that I would be comfortable to wear. For me, this is just absolute ultimate feminine power. This is just, femininity on overdrive. And I love that this fragrance balances it so beautifully between the tenderness of of a woman, her femininity, but at the same time, just the power of femininity, just this beautiful balance between the two. Anyway, I know that when Sandra wears this, it's just divine. I just love its scent profile. I love everything about it. It's an animalic tuberose. So where this is an animalic jasmine, and this is done so well. So as I mentioned, it does lean very much towards that white floral jasmine note, whereas this, there's no sweetness here. Whereas this, it leans into that tuberose, but there's this sweet tenderness about it. But as I said, with this animalic component there, that it just makes you excited, makes you happy. So for a honeymoon, I would strongly recommend, actually I wrote here, it's erotic tenderness, and that's exactly what it is, because there is this, those are beautiful fragrances for a woman to wear, and I know that as this man, when I smell those fragrances, bada bing baby, it's awesome. All right, let me move on. Now, this was tough, because I said to Sandra, what do you like what I wear? And she's like, and Sandra, so in our family, okay, here's a story. So as a young man growing up, the conversation of, I was gonna sort of skirt the issue. The conversation of sex was not a big deal. My mother would always talk about this, even as I was a teenager. Teenagers, nothing, all that's on their brain is that. But Mum would always talk about, a healthy sexual relationship in a marriage or in a couple is actually a good thing. It's actually a great thing. Now, Sandra's family, you don't even say words starting with S, all right? So no words starting with S are going to be pronounced here. And so it was interesting, the two different sort of relationships. I'll give you another story. I was now probably about a 19-year-old boy, and I was saving up some money because I was planning to go traveling, and I was working with my dad, and this is a true story. We would come home for lunch. Mum and Dad would go into the room. This is at lunchtime, okay? So talk about afternoon delights. Anyway, I would have my lunch in the kitchen, and the door would be closed, and then 30, 40 minutes later, Dad would emerge, grab his sandwich, and he would eat it as he was driving home. Now, everybody knew what just happened, but nothing was said. And for me, it was only I don't know. For me, it was like, oh yeah, this is cool. This is they're having lunch. He's having a lunch. He's having a lunch break. So, the importance of intimacy was something that I learned from a very young age, that it's actually healthy for couples to be intimate and for tenderness to exist in a relationship. Anyway, so I started that because I asked Sandra, what is it that you like when I wear? So what do you like that I wear? And so she blushed and got a little bit embarrassed. But she gave me, there are 4 here that, so for a man to wear, these are great fragrances for honeymoon opportunities. Number 1, Latin Lover. The name says it all. So this is CARNER Barcelona. It's a house from Spain, based in Barcelona, obvious. And the name says it all. Now, interestingly, this is the part that will raise question marks. In that, if you look at Fragrantica and the way also it's sold via CARNER, this is a female skewed fragrance. If you look at the notes, it's all florals, a whole bunch of florals. I'll tell you more about that in just a second. But if you look at Fragrantica, it's like no man is touching this. Boys, this is a secret weapon. I strongly recommend that this is, and I wrote down here, this is a boom, boom. Oh, okay. This is an aphrodisiac. So this is a fragrance aphrodisiac because the scent that this emanates is just gorgeous. And on a man, I know that on a woman this works fantastic. So a woman wearing Latin Lover is beautiful, but for a man to wear it, and I think it's because in the base, so there's a lot of florals on that opening and in the heart, but in the base, there is a mixture of benzoin, musk, and patchouli, but I think it's that musk. I don't detect the patchouli component of it, but that musk, and I mentioned before, a beautiful ambrette, sort of this floral musk, it's just sexy. It's just, because if you get an animalic musk, it has a sass to it. It has a sort of like a growl, whereas a floral musk, there is, I actually feel that floral musks are dirtier. They're a lot more sensual. Is probably a lot more sensual in their nature. Whereas an animalic musk just it precedes itself. It gurs too hard. It growls too much. Whereas an ambrette is just, it's sensual. It's very, very sexy. Anyway, so this fragrance has things like jasmine, narcissus, ylang. Did I say that? Narcissus? Yeah, the sunflower, the daffodil. Ylang ylang, lily of the valley. It has all these beautiful, there is no orange blossom that I know of, but it has this beautiful fruity tinge to it. For me, I put it down as an orange blossom. Anyway, it's super alluring. It's one of those, it's the equivalent of La CAUTIVA, but now for a man to wear. It's really, it's very sensual fragrance, and a massive recommendation. This is another one, afternoon delight style, sunshine coming through, breezy window, curtains are flowing, and Latin Lover is busy. My brain went to, what's his name? The great poet, Marvin Gaye, where he says, "Let's get it on." Yeah, so that's Latin Lover. It's cool. It's really sexy. Actually, I'm wearing it today. Let me just see what my time is. It's just gorgeous. As a fragrance for a man to wear, trust me on this, boys. As a fragrance for a man to wear, sexy, baby. Allora, you know what? I'm gonna stop. My camera's about to pop. I'll be back. And we're back. All right, so let me just finish off with the remaining 3 that a man can wear. This is, again, so these are recommended. These are the ones that Sandra put forward that she loves. VIOLE NERE. This is a new one, and I think what it is about this, and I'm trying to remember, every time she smells this in the air, she literally is drawn to it. And she'll, when I know that Sandra loves a fragrance is when she sort of buries her nose on my skin and starts to sort of breathe in and wants to draw closer to it. The one thing about this fragrance here is that there's no musks that I know of. The notes are more powdery and soft and green. There are some floral components to it. It opens up with this beautiful black currant. Maybe black currant is a secret weapon because black currant is in here, black currant is in here. Anyway, yeah, that's only 2. Anyway, so there is a black currant note on that opening along with some green notes. And I think it could be galbanum that's also involved in here. It has this beautiful tenderness to it. And the best way to describe it is think of a very gentle, tender kiss. There's almost a sense of innocence. It's that innocence in that kiss. There's not this like it's not a wet kiss or anything of that nature. It's just a very tender, gentle kiss, and it's this warmth that comes from being close to somebody. This is Viole Nere. It has a comforting familiarity to it. And I have said before, so if you've missed the episode that I created alongside Male FUSCIUNI, in that video I did talk about that this is a fragrance that almost feels old world, and it is based on an older recipe, being the Violetta di Parma, which is one of the, I think it was first created in 1870 or something like that. So it has this old world familiarity to it, this old world charm, but it does have a modern twist to it. There is other things at play here. I know that Mel put in like a sweet cognac note on the opening. So there's this beautiful allure that, you know, when on that opening, it does draw you in. For a man to wear, so initially he created it as a fragrance for a female to wear, because that's the classic Violetta di Parma design, is for a woman, but realized that this is a great fragrance for a man to wear. Now, boys who may not be comfortable with florals in their fragrance, this is the perfect place to begin. I know that I've always said, you know, the rose one, Radical Rose, is a great place, and it is. The problem with Radical Rose, not the problem, sorry. For men who are not comfortable with florals in their fragrance, the problem with Radical Rose is that it does have a distinct rose note in it. Whereas there are some men who just go, you know what, I just don't want florals in my fragrance. Well, go to Viole Nere. There are florals in there, being the iris and the violet, but it's not overtly floral. There's, you know, things like patchouli and sandalwood in the base. I think there's also vetiver and things like that. So classic, I guess, masculine notes. But it's not masculine at all. It's a soft, innocent, tender kiss. Lips pressed against each other. The warmth of this other person's skin and flesh next to yours. This is what Viole Nere is. It is divine. And every time I'm wearing it, whenever I'm wearing it, Sandra is always, it's like a magnet. She's just drawn to it. She just loves its scent profile. So, big recommendation. All right, let me have a little drink, and we're gonna do the last two. I'm gonna Google. Sorry. Another recommendation from Sandra, and because we were building these fragrances together over the last couple of days, and she kept saying this one to me again and again. So this is, so boys, Oud Satin Mood. Oud Satin Mood is one that, you know, don't forget Oud Satin Mood. I'm like, I want, babe. So Oud Satin Mood is a massive winner. Now, the great thing about this fragrance, if you're brand new to oud, start here, all right? This has a Loation oud. It's very subtle and gentle, but it's present. And so it doesn't have the intense animalics or that fecal component, that barnyard component of the oud, but it does have a little bit of that animalic component, that animalic touch. What is more present, or is a lot more overt, is the rose and this vanilla caramel touch that it has to it. Now, those three notes, I'm gonna say there are other notes involved in there. Excuse me one second, sorry. I know that there are other notes in there, but for me, these three core notes is what creates this just gorgeous scent cloud. Now, as a fragrance, and I've always recommended, if you want to go, this would be another great wedding fragrance. So if you want to, the bride or the groom could be wearing this. In this case here, I'm saying that the groom is wearing it. You would just, this would go everywhere. The projection, the sillage that this fragrance has, the longevity that this fragrance has is phenomenal. It's outstanding. As a fragrance to go out on a date or anything of that nature, I'm telling you this, and you know what's interesting? This is a beast mode fragrance without having like heavy, without having a heavy sound to it. Sometimes there are beast mode fragrances that it's just too much. Whereas because of the rose, because of that vanilla caramel touch, that sweetness in there, and then that very gentle oud, it's seduction. It's just, you just want to fall in love with this thing. Beep, bop, boop. I wrote here, oh yeah, so there's this beautiful balance, so there's this balance between the tenderness of the fragrance with that rose and vanilla, and then that animalic part of it, the more, I guess, the more sensual, sexy side of things. So this beautiful balance between tenderness and then, you know, sexuality, and anyway. Gorgeous fragrance. I'd strongly recommend it. And one that Sandra told me like 5 or 6 times. Please do not forget to include it. I won't. Last one. This is for boys. Boys, okay, so first let's talk from, as a man, I love wearing pardon. This is such a great masculine fragrance. So as a soy hombre and makes you feel like soy un hombre, pardon is the one. If this could be defined as a person, it's Don Draper. You know, I love Don Draper's character is always confident, always very self-assured, and very much a man, very much a masculine man. And that's what pardon is. You know, he's, but he's not Don Draper. He is, you know, suave and sophisticated in a suit. He's not a James Bond. So see, Don Draper, you can't see him running over rooftops and jumping and grabbing and wrestling and all that sort of stuff. You know, he has those elements, but at the end of the day, that's not him. So this is what pardon is. It's a sophisticated, masculine fragrance. If it was a dance, and I've said this before, it's a bachata. So there's a sexiness in the bachata where, especially when the man dances, it's, anyway, I'm not going to go into it because otherwise, but it's just, I mean, the bachata is a very sexy dance for a man to dance. Anyway, have a look at some bachata dancing and you'll understand what I mean. What is it about this fragrance? Okay, so again, I'm talking from a man's point of view, why a man would love to wear this. There is a cedar-like quality when it opens up. It has this woody aromatic component to it. It has this, I guess, the classic notes that you love, that a man loves in a fragrance. You know, it just has this, the woods in there, this aromatic sort of uplift. There are some spices in there. The great thing is, because it's an Alessandro Galtieri, we don't really know the full notes, and it's only, you know, things that we're detecting and things that, you know, people are writing down. From my nose, I do pick up a spicy something. People say it's cinnamon, but I almost feel like it's, and I get a patchouliness to it also. There is a slight earthy, damp camphousness, but then it is intermingled with the cedar wood. People say that there is oud in here, and I'm going to say that possibly, yeah, there could be some level of oud in there because there is an animalic touch to it also, but not, again, not that fecal or barnyard component to it. There was one more thing that I liked about it that I wanted to share. Touch of oud, dried down, camphorous. It is really sexy. Oh my gosh. You know, just for a man to wear, you feel it just, it instills in you confidence, all right? This is a fragrance that if you are going out and you wanted to meet people, Pardon is one of those fragrances that will just make you feel confident. You know, you just smell. And the other thing too, and it smells amazing. The other thing too is that it's not a room filler, unlike Oud Satin Mood, where it'll just, the great thing about Pardon is that it has a much more intimate scent bubble. So it's from about a medium to a low. So when people come in about a meter and a half from you, they can detect this fragrance. They can pick up. The more you sweat, this is the other thing I've discovered. The more you sweat, the more your body amps up. This fragrance presents itself. Okay, so now from a honeymoon point of view, or as a fragrance for amorous moments, there is, I believe, some kind of cacao chocolate note. There is something in there that is edibleness, and I think that creates this yumminess to it. It still has a masculine feel, so it never goes into a gourmand, it never goes into sweetness, but there is something else in there, and I'm putting it down to chocolate, that when it begins to dry down, it's almost like the person smelling it loses power. It's almost this olfactory seduction to it. I know it for myself. So this is a fragrance where Sandra wants to bury her nose in, you know. I want to, yeah. And there's a good friend of mine who he said to me, I want to buy a nice fragrance. He's trying to find, you know, someone special in his life. And I said to him, Pardon. All right, so he went out, he bought Pardon. He sent me, and I've said this before for those who may have heard this already. He sent me a message sent me a text, and he said, this thing is off the hook. The young lady that I'm with just cannot keep her hands off of me. So there is something very alluring about Pardon. It's a secret weapon. So where a secret weapon exists in the NASOMATTO for women to wear, when it comes to this gorgeous thing here, NARCOTIC V, the same thing exists for a man to wear, and I'd strongly recommend to you Pardon. Boom, bada bing, and done. All right, let me have a little drink. So there you have it. I'm hoping it didn't get weird for anybody. I'm hoping nobody, you know, sort of got hot flushes or anything like that. As I mentioned before, I mentioned at the start, intimacy is an important part of any relationship, and so yeah, so it's just, and it's, as humans, it's what happens. And so these fragrances here, I strongly recommend. These are beautiful. Yes, they're gorgeous fragrances to wear. I mean, not every time I wear these fragrances, things are happening. But if you want a beautiful fragrance for beautiful moments, these are the ones that I would recommend to you. Done. Once again, thank you everyone. 100K, what an awesome milestone. Very excited to be at this moment in time. What I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna stop, and we're about to do the spinning of the wheel. Boom, and back for the spin. All right, so the person who's gonna win now, you have first choice, whether you would like the Homme and Jane gift set or discovery set, or the Hermetica discovery set. Good luck. There was a lot of entries. Which is pretty cool. Thank you everyone for your support, because it means that you're all subscribers and you're all jumped in to be part of this. And now silence. Let's see who wins. Good luck. Boom. Hakan, my man. All right, so Hakan has won. You reach out to me. Hakan is a member of the channel. Now, can you see that there are some wedges that are bigger? Members of the channel get double entry, just to give you a heads up. So it costs $4. You probably want to be a part of this. I'll tell you more. And again, just to remind everyone, second spin on its way. Hakan, reach out to me, my friend, and I will organize to find out which one you want. Talk to me through Discord, baby. You know, you and me, Discord, here we go. Good luck. Boom! Joel, also another member of the channel. So congratulations to both Hakan and Joel. Awesome to, well, congratulations to both you guys. Now, if you would like the next promo, all right, so the next promo is the big one. It is the full bottle, 100 ml, your choice, whatever you want from the NUIT NOMADE collection. If you're not sure about what they have on offer, as I mentioned earlier, I recommend to you check out the Discovery set that's here. Have a look at the Discovery series episodes that I've done. Use the code NFC10 and you'll be able to get a chance to get a 10% off that and free delivery. So use the link below. You'll get free delivery anywhere in the world. To enter this competition, all you have to do is be a subscriber. Be a subscriber, you'll get one entry. If you're a member, you get a double entry. Then put the rocket so I can find you quickly, because there was, for this one here, thank goodness for that orange dot. So put the rocket and then put the fragrance that you would choose if you were to win. Good luck, everyone. Have an awesome week. We'll see you guys all on the next MATÉ Talk. I've been in love with niche perfumery for some time now, and I also love travel. Now we've married these two things together and created KM Fragrance Stores. 2025 is all about Italy. There are 2 tours happening, one in February, the ESXENCE tour. You're gonna wanna join us on this one-day event. And then in September, we have an 8-day luxury tour. Rome, Milan, Florence, travel, good food, fragrances, bada bing baby.
You're gonna wanna come with us. ESXENCE is the biggest perfume show that happens in the calendar year. Now this is where you're going to be surrounded by 400 niche fragrance brands. We're gonna give you a guided tour of the day. The ESXENCE tour is open now. We've already had a number of guests come and book their spots.
Then in September, if you wanna now slow down the pace, 8-day luxury. We're in conversation with a number of beautiful Italian brands in each of those key cities. Those dates are locked and loaded. So if you want to join us for that, make sure you reach out to us to find out more. We look forward to an exciting 2025 as we explore niche perfumery, travel, and Italy.
We'll see you there.